Good morning, friends. I'm so happy it's Friday. It is almost the weekend. I'm so happy we're checking in with Galaxy Zack and finding out what happens in chapter 7. All right. Enough of that craziness. I am happy that it's Friday, though. It's always nice to have a couple days off when we're working so hard all the time at school, at home, which is a really weird kind of thing to be having happen. Usually when we're at home, we're just kind of doing our own thing, hanging out with our family, and now all of a sudden there's all this work that we're doing in the middle of it too. And I sometimes feel confused at that balance, and I bet that you do too, that you're like, I'm at home. Why do I have to do all this writing and reading and math and all that stuff? I'm at home. And so it just feels kind of strange sometimes. I have to say, though, I really do like being able to connect with you on YouTube all the time. It's nice to be able to share little bits and pieces of my life with you outside of school. But I do miss all the hugs and being able to hang out with you. And do you know what I miss more than anything? There's this little glory hound here. I miss morning meetings. Hello. Hello. How are you? How are you? But I do enjoy being able to be with my puppy at home all the time. Yeah, I miss morning meetings, that time when we're just kind of hanging out together and chatting about life and talking about our day. And that's when like the humanity happens, when we get to know each other a little bit better in our class. So that's my favorite time, and I miss that a lot. I miss it very much. Jack and I were texting back and forth this morning, talking about how much we miss just being together. All right, so I'm going to use a phrase from the beginning of the year that's going to apply to this. It fills my bucket when I get emails from you in my email. It fills my bucket. It makes me feel good, it makes me feel connected, and it makes my happiness meter go up. I love it. And so we're going to be looking for times in here when Galaxy Zack starts to have his bucket filled up, because his bucket got a little bit dipped at the beginning when he had to move from planet Earth to planet Nebulon. And so we're going to figure out some ways that his bucket is going to get filled up. I think it filled his bucket last week when he realized that school wasn't all that different on Earth or Nebulon, that it was pretty much the same, a class full of students with a teacher, and his teacher was actually from Earth. All right, so here he is. This one's called Yippee Wah Wah. Hi, said Zack, and he raised his hand and moved it in a circle, just like his dad had done at the spaceport. The other students just stared. Okay, class, let's begin with today's history lesson, Ms. Rudolph said. She sat and began typing. Zack stared at the small screen in front of him. How do I get this thing to work? He wondered. A Nebulite boy sitting next to Zack leaned over. Just tap the center of the screen, the boy whispered. Thanks, Zack whispered back. He tapped his screen and the lesson appeared. Zack enjoyed learning about the history of Nebulon. After history, they studied math and science. Then the bell rang for lunch and everyone dashed from the classroom. The students boarded the space bus to take them from the classroom to the cafeteria. So do you think it filled his bucket when that kid next to him told him how to turn the screen on? Me too. I think that when people offer you help, when they notice that you're confused without being annoying about it, that's nice. Have you ever had somebody say, you didn't know that? It doesn't feel good when somebody does that. But when somebody just says to you, just tap the middle of the screen, because they know you don't know that, and they're not going to make you feel bad for it. It's not his fault he doesn't know how to turn the screen on, just the way his life works. So I'm sure that filled his bucket. Zack stepped onto the bus. He saw kids talking and laughing, and Zack felt like he was all alone. What am I doing here? He thought. I want to go home. Hey, Zack, there's a seat over here, someone called out. Zack looked toward the back of the bus. He saw the Nebulite boy who sat next to him in class. Zack hurried down the aisle and sat next to the boy. I am Drake Taylor, the boy said, raising his hand and moving it into a circle. So there's two bucket fillers there. Or bucket dipper when he hopped on the bus and was like, I want to go home. And then a bucket filler when somebody said, hey, Zack, there's a seat right here. And then when he made his way back to that kid, he introduced himself and made that friendship signal, because I think that Drake wants to be friends with Zack. So that's definitely a bucket filler. Nice to meet you, Zack said, doing the same hand movement. The bus zoomed off from its dock outside the classroom building. How long has your family been living on Nebulon, Zack? Asked Drake. Zack looked down at his galactic standard watch. About 18 hours, Zack replied, smiling. How do you like it so far? Drake asked. Parts of it are cool, said Zack. The last thing Zack wanted to do was tell Drake how much he missed home. The space bus slowed to a stop. The doors slid open and everyone ran into the cafeteria. What do you think? Any bucket fillers or dippers there? I think that when he was just asking Zack about his life, that was probably a bucket filler. Because when somebody's asking you about your life, that's saying, you're interesting to me. I want to learn about you. You're important. It's what's called massaging someone's ego. The ego is what's inside of you that makes you feel important to yourself. And so when somebody says outside of your body, you're important, it feels really good to our ego. Zack took a seat next to Drake and looked around. Hey, where's the lunch line? Zack said. Where's all the food? You will see, Drake replied. Just then a line of robots came marching through the door. They were tall and skinny and metal. Each of them pushed a cart filled with food. A robot walked over to Zack and Drake. Zack read the choices. I'll have super mac and cheese, he said. The robot picked up a steaming plate of food. It set the plate right down in front of Zack. And I will have the jam and jelly sandwich, please, Drake said. After Drake got his food, the boys began to eat. Once again, Drake filled Zack's bucket by making him feel comfortable and safe and reassuring him that everything was going to be all right. You'll see. Everything's fine. So Zack, what did you do for fun on Earth? Here he goes, massaging his ego again, filling his bucket. I really liked going bike riding with my friend Bert, Zack replied. I too like to ride my bike, Drake said. Maybe we could ride our bikes together. Yeah, okay, Zack said. How about we ride together today after school, Drake asked. All right. When lunch was over, the space bus arrived to take everyone back to class. Zack and Drake took their seats. So there again is Drake filling Zack's bucket. And do you think that Drake's bucket got filled too when he was asking him if he would come bike riding with him and Zack said yes? Does that feel good when you ask somebody to do something and they say yes? Yeah, that fills my bucket when that happens. It makes me go, oh good, they do want to be my friend. They do think I'm interesting enough to hang out with. Yippee wah wah, Drake said. My favorite class is next. Zack stared at his new friend. I have two questions, Drake, said Zack. What's your favorite class? And what does yippee wah wah mean? Drake laughed. Zack started laughing too. Planetology is my favorite class, Drake replied, and yippee wah wah is what Nebulite kids say when they're happy. I love studying planets and stars too, said Zack. He was happy that he had met Drake. Looks like I made a new friend. So much bucket filling happening in this chapter. So, today I have an activity attached to this video that you can print out and do, along with a little coloring book that has some different sayings in it that you can color and kind of think about things that make you feel good, things that you've done for other people that have made them feel good, and things that people have done for you that make them, or that make you feel good. So, that's kind of our activity for today. We're looking at that emotional side and doing a little check-in with yourself, making sure that your bucket is full. And if it's not feeling very full, then think about how you can make that change. So there's one of my favorite sayings in the whole wide world from Maya Angelou, and it is, we rise by lifting others. So maybe if you're not feeling that good, you could do something for somebody else that would fill their bucket, because sometimes filling somebody else's bucket makes our bucket fill too. I hope you have a wonderful Friday, and I will see you on Monday. Love you, friends. Bye.